.32. G'day guys. We're back. Infra-Red podcast number 32.
Yay.
And we've got a very awesome guest on tonight who's been a local legend for the last 10 years in the DJ industry and the production industry.
Damn, that's a long time, bro. You're looking young.
Yeah.
Look, I'd be hoping to look 20, but I might look 40. Who knows?
No. You look like you're 22.
Perfect.
Just a little bit overgrown.
I'm so sorry, Ben. I'm going to have to adjust your camera for it.
All right. Well,
yeah.
we got...
Hold on, guys who are live. This is live fixing the podcast.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, we've got Ben Renna on right now as we fix the camera. And we've got Mitch doing his thing.
There we go.
So, to start things off, Ben, I know I keep saying this every other episode. I always say this, but... So, how did you get into everything? You're a DJ. Can you tell us about everything? I mean, that was a bit different to last episodes, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah, well, okay, so... a few friends were mixing, I reckon, about 2007, 8, 9, that sort of time. So, a fair while ago. And I played piano, like, as like, you know, like a young boy and growing up, like, in high school. And, just loved music, got into it that way. And yeah, just remember some friends mixed at a club at Club Red Sea for an event called Fuse. Some promotion
Fuse, I think I heard about that.
Yeah, Fuse at Red Sea was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
The Bombs Away boys used to run that, Sketch and Tom. And that's how the whole thing started. So just used to go for some house parties at their place and kind of kick on there. And
I feel like it's a very similar story to just about everyone.
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
So
mostly.
there,
house parties, knew some guys who did it. You know,
someone's like, I can do that.
Exactly. So I think and I just gave it a go. I always loved music and felt like I always had this musical ear for it and just went with it. Picked it up pretty quickly, bought my first set of decks, spent like a shitload on them, and then just practice and then
Pioneer or
I think it was like CDJ 800s and the DJM 800. So
shit,
that was pretty. It was pretty good for then, but
But with the little white dot EQ as well, like the old school.
I can't remember. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like those silver decks, and they had it was like all CDs. Then
DDJ 800, right?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So with piano, can you play any other instruments at all as well?
No, you know what? I'm actually even still pretty rusty now. Like, I need to brush up massively, especially, and it would help with the whole production game, hugely. I need to get back into it. It's been one thing, actually, if that whole ISO lockdown Corona period went on longer, that would have been something that I would have done. But it suddenly just bounced back here in WA, pretty much out of nowhere.
Right?
Quickly, but good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, quickly, like 5 months, 4 months?
We've been pretty
6 months?
lucky here. And no, it's more like 2.5 months that we actually went off a lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think that we're in the 7th month already, though.
Yeah.
Like, 7th month is like... It's
7th month of the year.
2020 needs just
flown by. It's completely flown by.
We can start with 2020.2. So let's
That's
go.
it. Yeah. 2020.2.
So what does your resume look like now, Ben?
Yeah.
Shit, I'm so bad at talking about myself. Like,
it's a tough question.
I hate
Aren't
it.
we all though?
I hate it, but it is what it is.
Well, why don't you start with where you hold residency?
Come on, you're a local superstar.
Yep. So, I mean, things have changed a little bit since that whole Corona period came in. So, obviously, like I said, like things bounced back so fast. At the moment, like Fridays, it's just Friday, Saturday at the moment. It was like Thursday to Sunday over summer and coming out of 2019, and that was a pretty busy period there. Fridays at the moment is all like Metro Stereo and Amps, and Saturdays is Avery and Coconut Grove and a little bit at Metros as well.
How actually is the Avery? Because we had Nick Owen talk about that ages and ages ago.
Still cranks.
It's
still goes
such
hard.
a good venue, right?
Good crowd, pretty good crowd.
And just the location, everything, where
location's
it is.
great. So nice in summer. Like you got cityscape and sunsets, and you kind of can't go wrong with that. Like,
so I don't think I've ever actually been in there in summer.
Yeah.
I've always gone there in winter.
Man, you have to. Hey, like perfect little spot. Just kicks off from like 5-6 p.m. It's like still pretty busy, and then
the
by
after
7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Fuck, it just goes nuts. So.
That's all right. So yeah.
But that's pretty much it. Yeah, no, residency wise, just at the moment Metro's Amps on Fridays, and then Avery Coconut and Amps. I still book DJs through a couple of venues, and I still play the Cod a fair bit and things like that. So
really, the Cod is like a hotel.
Some sporadic stuff at Geisha here and there, and just got a booking there today, and I can't remember, just places like that. So bits and pieces around, and
true. No, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
So then going back, like to when you kind of started as well, like what were the first kind of clubs you kind of played at? Because you said before we started, you started at Metros and stuff, but Gold Bar, that place doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore. Well, actually, it's coming back. They've just recently been rebought and renovated, and I don't know when they're going to relaunch or whatever.
Was that Voya Bar?
No, that's Llama. So,
okay, so that's where Llama Bar was.
Llama, it's all in Subi, but Gold was this like tiny little like exclusive kind of VIP club back in the day, just like I guess
I remember, so it's just being so exclusive though, honestly.
Yeah, it was tiny. It was like 200 people or 250 people sort of thing. Bottles, models,
that's
suits,
models.
Pretty much that was pretty much it. And it was a great little spot. I mean, it was always open late, always stayed up until 5. Great clientele. I played there for so long. And I really definitely cemented my career there.
Because you said it's one of your very first residencies, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit when I first started out, actually at Metros, Fremantle.
Like main stage or upstairs, or
it was a bit of both. They rotated the rosters there, so I think I played a little bit there, and mostly Fridays with D-Tuck, so Darren Tucker.
Oh, real?
And and then Gold was kind of like a part of that as well. It was just a little exclusive VIP club, and had always had a pretty good name, and that's where it started with that one.
So when did producing slot into the mix? Did it come before or after? Was it always a passion, or did you pick it up
maybe
after
5
DJing?
years in?
5 years in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I reckon it's been about 5 years since I sort of dabbled in it. Yeah.
And how did you break the ice? How did you get into it? Like, what was...
This one was a bit of a difficult one as well. I think a couple of friends just started doing it as well, and I think the same sort of thing. I just kind of was always interested.
Really making you dig back into your past. Huh?
I don't know, man. Like it's hard. Like I think Philly Blunt taught me some basics as well.
Oh yeah.
And he had this little mini studio in Claremont, and he was
another local legend. Definitely.
Yep. Philly was great. So, plus also just dabbled in it there, and Philly taught me some basics, and then a friend of mine from Melbourne just said, "Do you know any guys from WA that would be interested in remixing my latest single?"
Right.
And I was like, "Yeah, I know a guy," and I just put my hand up for it, and was so raw to it, shouldn't have really even said yes. But
you know what? That was probably a good thing.
Right?
Just to jump into the dive in like that.
Jump
into the dive in.
Straight
jump into the deep end.
Yeah,
deep end,
totally. Dive in the deep end. Yeah. So, that's how it started, and then this whole remix, I remember just starting pretty much like from scratch, and just. I mean, remixing's really, it's like you're basically creating a whole track of your own, unless you use certain stems and whatnot that you use in the pack. But I remember just jumping into that and pretty much did the whole thing by ear. and then just jumped in and they just got signed. So it was great. So that's how I got the start. And then about maybe 12 months later, I got pretty busy over that year period. And then I think I remixed about a year later after that for another Melbourne guy, or a New Zealand producer, but he's living in Melbourne.
Were they the only 2 tracks you kind of actually made, or did you make anything in between?
I made a couple of with production, you always start with, I don't know, everyone does it differently, but mostly just like a big loop and you just build it and then expand it and off you go and have all the parts you might want and start the groove or whatever. Some people do it that way, or sometimes you do a full layout of the track that might be.
See, I've heard kind of 2-3 different ways, where it's like you get the original track, you put it underneath kind of thing, and you can kind of follow the structure, or, start with remixes kind of thing, because then it's already built, but then you can kind of take things out and rearrange it and this and that. Or I had a third one, but I can't remember the third one. But yeah, like so with the remix though, like, did you find it hard just to kind of just to make your own? Does it sound very similar to the original at all, or?
Tough one, because it doesn't sound different. It was more like a bit more of a club rub, but my style is like, a lot of the times is like lots of piano, lots of like kind of piano house kind of vibe. Nothing like techno or tech house or any of those sort of vibes. I mean, I enjoy them, but definitely go back to what I'm passionate about, which is just like cool piano house, nice grooves, some cool breakdowns, some melodies and stuff like that.
Would you say it's a lot more melodic?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
like a melodic form of house, more so than say tech house.
Yeah, more
which is
just like piano house, or that sort of vibe. So that's
piano
definitely
house. I don't think I've ever heard that. Is that not a thing, or is that?
I would say that's a thing. No.
Yeah, I don't know. More like UK house, piano house. Like,
it's like chill, mellow kind of. It's not like it's party. It can be chill, but it's not like it's not like dubstep kind of thing.
We'll be listening to some of it later on in the podcast.
Yeah. Play some, for sure.
Do you say your style's evolved over time?
Yeah.
Like, what did you start like producing? Because obviously, the very first track you made, they obviously asked you to do a remix. Was there any stipulations behind the remix, or were they just like, go ahead?
No, I think when you get asked to do remixes, a lot of the time it's for whatever that artist is booked for that remix, that style. So, like I think that first pack there was like Dave Winnell, who's quite big. He was on that. He's done really well this year. I think a couple of other, like a guy from Brisbane and a guy from Melbourne and myself from Perth. So I think that usually with the packs, if it's an Australian record label, they'll have one artist from each state to try and sort of spread the track as much as they can, depending on the label and depending on the kind of where they're at with the whole thing. So
no shit, but that makes so much sense. But I never.
You're starting a track from scratch, unless. And I like to build it that way, build it around the vocal, build the breakdown, build the intro, build the main drop and the hooks and whatnot. So
well, I'd definitely say like the vocals are one of the most important parts of a track to an extent.
Yep.
Because it's kind of what gives it structure in a way, and gives it that memory and that vibe and that feeling and emotion and everything else kind of thing.
Yep, spot on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with that though, now that we're talking about kind of like a bit melodic house stuff, what would you say your favorite genre is as well? Like that kind of stuff, or
yeah, I'd say I love that. Yeah, like. Definitely more just house, but I'm I love all genres of house. So it's a hard one to pick, but definitely just house music. Like I'd probably just leave it at that. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, house music in a whole is just amazing as it is, kind of thing.
Yeah,
there's so many different types and everything. Yeah. So
2020 year of house.
That's it.
Said it once. Well, say it again.
You keep saying it, but I don't know.
It's interesting to see sort of where all the labels go. Not many places or labels are like signing stuff at the moment. Just. Or they're sort of being a bit more selective with what they sign because they're not sure when. I mean, Melbourne just went back into lockdown, right? So they pour.
So you would say it's part of the Corona kind of thing? It's like taking
for the moment, back, lots of stuff's being created, I'm sure of, but I don't know how much is being signed. A few of my friends have said we've actually approached labels and then they've gone, yeah, cool vibe, but we're not signing anything right now.
You can't really make money.
Yeah.
Tough time, really. I have noticed though that there has been a trend, like because I follow a lot of like G House, Bass House, Jackin House, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And all of the producers are moving towards house. They're all going way more housey vibes. So
classic Defected vibe. That's probably more where I'm at. Defected, CR2, like they make some cool
I don't think I've actually heard of those labels. Can we pull them up at all?
Defected Records, massive dance music label.
Massive,
biggest dance music label in the world, just about. So
really, holy shit. Okay.
Yep.
Have you not heard of Massive?
I don't actually.
Yeah. Massive label. Defected Records is probably
Defective.
It's the one. Yeah.
I was about to say massive label. I haven't heard of them either.
Defected Records. Yeah.
So would you say for someone that's like starting out with producing, that's like definitely something to like, because So like for me, right, I've talked to Mitch about this a few times, right? But so like when I DJ, I really kind of get lost in it. It's like, you know, it's my R&R time to kind of just let loose and do what I want to do and play the music I want to play. But would you say like, you know, sitting down producing or DJing would kind of be like your way to not let off steam, but just like be able to go, yep, I'm having fun now?
Oof, yeah, man, you're pulling out some good questions here, eh? Like, really getting me thinking, eh? Because
you know what it's like, and you're standing on stage and you're playing to 1,000 people. Like, this is pretty good, right?
It can be stressful sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I'm like, you don't feel nervous anymore. Then you kind of lost the passion, I guess. But yeah, sometimes I've been in like bad moods, and then you just get on stage, and it's just the music like kind of channels through what you play or whatever. So that's kind of, it's definitely cool in that way. It's all, I think you just, to anyone who wants to get started, I just say like, pick a genre that you love, and whether you stick with that in the very beginning or how it deviates as you like grow as an artist or whatever. Yeah. That's like a natural progression, and that's fine.
But that's a part of it, straight up.
Definitely part of it.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where you go on a journey. Like, you know, someone that picks up a guitar isn't going to be playing the same stuff 5 years later, kind of thing. Yeah, they learn songs, they do this, they do that, I heard this, tricks and everything. Like,
what is it, like Elephant or whatever it is by Tame Impala? Yeah, one of their first ones.
Amazing song. Yeah.
And then their latest one is like, you know, Breathe Deeper is such a sick tune. It's so like, it's almost like disco, like funk, like kind of those sort of vibes are like influenced in it as well, but they still have the same. Yeah, it's the same sort of like vocal style. I mean, Kevin Parker's on vocals, and you know, I don't know, you sort of evolve as you go along. But that's nearly 10 years old. That's 12 or 13 years old actually now.
Yeah, exactly.
That first release. So,
yeah, Elephant's old.
I reckon just pick something you love and then just run with it, and then however it evolves, you know. Yeah. I wouldn't bother doing anything without that you're not passionate about, just otherwise it's not going to go anywhere, right? So,
no, exactly, yeah. And that's where the hard work and dedication really does come into it, kind of thing, right? Definitely. Would you ever say like swapping genres as well is kind of a good thing for artists sometimes? Because like, you know how, so like, for example, was like with Guetta, right? What did he swap to? He swapped to like...
He swapped to whatever he wanted.
No, I can't remember
David
that. Not David Guetta. Guetta.
Oh, okay, yep.
He swapped to like chill, nice, cool stuff, right? But then it's like, you know, he goes to a festival and he gets booed off stage because all his fans are like dubstep, rhythm, and everyone's he's just like,
because his original style was that. Yeah, okay. I'm actually not big in the bass scene, man. Like I couldn't tell you about that one, but
I just been like, you know, would you ever consider saying going from like house to techno or anything like that, or like?
I mean, it's similar hard, genres, like, but thing to sort of definitely pin down.
What are you trying to do, Alex? Are you trying to force him to like make a D&B track or something?
Yeah, I did not sit in the fence so much, eh? Like,
yeah, sorry.
Here's a good question. Here's a good question.
All right. Yeah, here we go.
If house was erased off the face of the earth, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
What other genre would it be?
To put it better.
Boy, stop laying this on me, hey. I can't choose because I love house. That's my thing, right? Like, probably like disco, new disco, because it's very similar, but it's still groovy, right? I love all the grooves. I love the
funkiness
bass lines. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
like a bit of sorry, I'm going a bit mainstream here, but like a bit of Panau.
Panau's great. Hey, like those boys have, and they've actually stuck pretty true to their style most of the time, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, all that stuff that they made, like Wild Strawberries and Baby, was quite big.
Yeah,
but it's
way
still got
back in the day,
like synthy kind of poppy sound to it. And today, like,
it still holds up.
Chameleon, Go Bang, like those ones are so huge. And
Solid Gold.
Yeah, Solid Gold. Banger, man. Yeah. Far out.
I have to admit, though, I kind of...
Sorry, just to jump in. Yeah, no, that's like Chameleon to Solid Gold. I mean, one's like 105, 106 BPM, and one's like 120, 125 or something. Yeah. So it's like, I'd say that's a genre jump almost in a way, because one's house and one's like house dance sort of like style, clubhouse.
Yeah,
but so you wouldn't even say it's half...
like, I don't know, what
it retains the same essence of Panau, but it's in a different format.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
But then anyway, how did we get into that subject again?
We're just talking about genres and, like, you know, potentially if Ben would ever swap.
Oh, right, yeah. It's disco, basically house.
Yeah.
Panau.
But
Panau's
disco's amazing.
Yeah.
Disco works so well.
Kind
of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking actually starting maybe like, this is only like last week. I was driving, it was late, and I'm like, back in my car, kind of driving along and thinking,
exclusive.
Am I going to make another Alias? And like just start like something else that I'm passionate about with like a friend of mine who lives in Germany at the moment.
Right.
And
we talked about a thing that might actually happen?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Exclusive. Right? Like, Infra-Red first.
I don't know. Possibly yes. Yeah. But we're both kind of like, we want to focus on our main projects for the moment. And then if some stuff comes along, like if one of us makes something and we shoot it across, go, oh, this is cool. Maybe we'll collab on this. And that's how all these things start, right? Like Dom Dollar just collabed with Sonny Fodera recently on that Moving Blind track. I mean, it's the same genres, like similar styles, but definitely more like Dom Dollar inspired because it's more banging tech house, you know. So
what's your opinion on Dom Dollar?
Love him.
Yeah.
Actually bumped into him. Here's a cool story, right? Randomly in the bathroom of Porn & Co in Melbourne.
Oh, there
about maybe like 2 years ago now.
Yep.
And it was just like, hey man, I know you. Like, it was just like, and he was like, hey bro. Like, he was just the biggest legend alive and super down to earth. So like, and that's his whole vibe, right? Yeah. And he makes dope tunes too, right? So yeah.
But that's so good though, right? When you actually, we've talked about this a few times on different podcasts where it's like you actually meet an artist and they're just really nice, cool,
down
chill, just down to earth.
Don't be diva, man.
Yeah.
We don't have time for divas around here.
Well,
like,
not even that. Just don't be Diplo.
Don't be Diplo.
Yeah,
really.
I've heard stories where apparently when he came to
right.
Future Music and then he's just like,
this was
everyone.
about 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Like,
ages ago. Just before he became a cowboy. But
Okay.
apparently he was just like, everyone get off stage kind of thing. I'm coming out. Everyone get out of the way. Like, I'm Diplo. Move kind of thing.
Yeah, I've heard this about Deadmau5 as well, funnily enough.
Yeah.
I've heard this about a few people, like Skrillex, like he's thrown his laptop like across the stage a few times and stuff like that.
Yeah, and smashed it in half and stuff like that.
Yeah, Dan would hate me saying that because he's such a Skrillex fanboy.
Yeah, right.
Bro
such
step.
an angel Sonny.
Bro step fan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
yep.
another question, right? So when you're talking about before, it's like collabing potentially with your mate in Germany. Have you ever actually worked on tracks with someone else?
This is a hard one, right?
Yeah,
because
I was going to ask, like, what's it like? Like,
I haven't, and that's probably why I haven't yet, because you get stuck in your own zone and your own like area, and that's my lane, man. You know, I'm just staying in it for a bit. It can be really cool though if it works out. I mean, I'm sure there's been like. I can't actually think off the top of my head, which is like a cool collab that's worked out. But I haven't tried it, but definitely something that would be cool down the line.
It's still cool though that you haven't.
My friend makes like kind of like disco inspired, like new disco, funk, soul kind of vibes.
Yeah.
His name's Jafunk. He's a Perth guy actually as well, but he's living in Germany.
Oh really?
But see, dope producer. Can't speak more highly of him. Like, really nice guy. Can't believe he hasn't blown up yet. Can't believe he hasn't proper blown up yet. You know what I mean? He gets good streams, gets good, but just you just wait for that one tune, I reckon. That's
Sometimes it takes just that one tune or that one comment or that one post, and bam, you just next level kind of thing. But it's good. I agree with you with the whole entire thing with like collabing, because sometimes it's like, just as you said, you're in your own lane. Yeah. It's like you're working on something, you've got this idea, this song's going to be like this. And then the other guy or the other girl or whoever's just like, yeah, but it worked better if we changed the BPM or maybe threw this in there or changed that or did this. And it's like, no, but that's not how I imagine it. That's how I envision it.
You want to be on the same path for sure, hey?
Yeah. But then it's like finding someone that you can really be on the same path with and being like, we just merge and like jigsaw puzzles work together kind of thing.
That's when the fire starts happening, hey? Like, that's when it just,
Have you ever done anything? Because I remember hearing a thing a while ago, like ages and ages ago. It was like, did you used to DJ with a saxophone guy at all?
No, I still do.
Oh, you still do?
I still do, yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you that before the podcast.
So we started this.
Because you used to do it at Malt Supper Club.
Malt, that's right. Yeah. So, actually, I played with one sax player at like a corporate before that, like a fair while before Taylor and I linked up. And Taylor Lynch is this guy from Perth, but I used to play at Gold Bar. He used to come in. Basically, would just message me. He'd walk in with like two girls on one girl on each arm.
Of course,
and it was just like, and we had this love.
Just want to give you a heads up. He's in chat right now.
No, good, perfect.
Hi Taylor, we see you.
Yeah,
welcome to the Infra-Red.
Shout out.
Yeah. I can feel my phone buzzing, like going nuts. I'm sure one of the boys is trying to roast or something online. Like,
jump into the Infra-Red chat, guys. Just roast us. Why not?
Why not?
Spice it up a bit,
Yeah. So he just used to walk in, just like one girl on each arm, and just message me like "fireball?" ? And then we'd just like I'd try and run from the decks, like push through the crowd to get to this to the bar, quickly do a couple of shots with him, then like run back to the booth and get back on with it. And it was just. Yeah, it was just on. And that's how it started. He just, one day, I think I put this post up. I think I needed someone for like a function or an event one time, or I started this club night on a Thursday called Bump, and it was just strictly house stuff. And he said, man, I play, right? And I said, no, didn't have any idea. And he just said, man, I'll just come along and play a couple of like nights with you if you like it. Cool. Then pay me after that, which ended up working out. And then we just became good mates, like best mates, and it just kind of
nice.
And then randomly through this night, Llama Bar double booked DJs on the Saturday, and I just said, don't worry about it. I never have a night off, so I'll just take a night off, and was having a cocktail at the bar, and I had a couple of mates there, and Tal calls me and he's like, bro, we've had a fuck up at Malt. The DJ hasn't rocked up, and they've like didn't realize she wasn't playing. Can you come down? Like, what have you got on? I was like, man, actually, there's a double book up. Got fucked up at Llama, and that's how it worked. So I just ran across to Malt, played. He was there, and like such as
history.
Yeah, history. Exactly right. So
on this subject, I just got a quick question.
Yeah.
What's it like when you have? Because we've talked to a few people. Like for example, we had Jason Stone on, who gets his partner to come play
electric violin.
Yep.
My bad.
Yep.
But like, what's the process? Do you charge more to the venue because there's two people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each artist gets their fee. So.
Yeah, but that's fair though, right? Yeah. It's 100% fair. Instead of just going, here's a lump sum to be.
I'm actually surprised. Not more places don't do it. I just started with this girl Laura, who's fantastic, and we were doing some stuff at Coconut Grove on Saturday nights right before the whole Rona lockdown period happened, and that was great. Like, people get their phones out. It's like really good promo. It's another element to the night, like another focal point. Like it's something else that can make it interesting rather than just having, I hate to like sort of put it this way, but like lots of venues play like just the same style, or they won't kind of like experiment out of what's what they exactly.
Yeah,
so
safe in the venue.
Safe, yeah, exactly right. So and that just makes it a cool like another element. So like
it's like what I've always said as well. Quickly, sorry for interrupting. It's like one of those things where it's like, if you go to a venue, you don't just want to see someone just standing there. You want to go in and be like, holy shit, they're having a good time. I want to have a good time. Let's have a good time.
It definitely makes it more of a show, man, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I can imagine someone walking around with a saxophone, just blowing and just doing their thing. Like, everyone just be like, damn, this is cool.
Yeah.
Well, you wonder why like Timmy Trumpet does so well and stuff like that.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. He was so cool when he first started. He's gone like psytrance and like more hectic EDM vibes now. So I saw he got engaged actually the other day, which was pretty cool. Did you see that? How fucking awesome was that?
Yeah, on stage.
Oh my god!
Live stream on stage.
Yeah. Shout out to the original Timmy. No, it was cool. He was cool. Like I loved how we used to go to Metros back in the day when it was Limelight on a Friday, and they had just it was more like clubhouse sort of vibes, which was cool. Lots of dance music. That Stafford Brothers come through, the Timmy Trumpet, all that sort of.
So have you met him before?
Timmy?
Yeah.
Not Timmy, no.
I was about to say, God damn,
they
you
had
met
like
him?
Potbellies come through and that sort of stuff.
Potbellies?
So yeah, what 2 tracks I've got stuck in their studio right now, actually, funnily enough. So I just go over and they mix and master, and sort of like every now and then they'll just be like, hey man, do you want a beer? And give their input into what they think maybe I could do when I'm over there, or if I collab
So they're not in Perth, they're over east then?
They're over east, yeah. Stuck in Melbourne. One's in Sydney, one's in Melbourne. So but they do the Potbellies DJs, which is a DJ set.
Yeah.
Other than their live show with the band. So
that's still pretty cool though. Like,
yeah,
it's Potbellies. Cool. The Potbellies are pretty classic kind of thing. They're up there with art,
massive back in the day. I mean, like, Don't Hold Back is like still relevant on the G-Pad. For God's sake. I mean, like, yeah.
Don't Hold Back
for those boys because
yeah.
Story behind that with the G-Pad was that they actually randomly went to this corporate meeting, and the chick that was in the meeting was just new on the job and wanted to impress her boss, and she said, I've got this, and they were looking for like how to market their latest ad, and they said, the chick goes, oh well, this is this new like Potbellies tune, it's like Don't Hold Back, and it's like Jeep, Don't Hold Back. That's just kind of how it worked out. So it was and that, how long's it been, like 10 or
been a while
10
since
or 12 years since that tune came out. Can
you actually Google that? Not play it, but just Don't Hold Back by Potbellies. That used to be on my iPod repeat kind of thing. I used to love that song.
Still
the same thing with like Rogue Traders and 009 Sound System and Sneaky Sound System and everybody kind of thing. Mentioning Sneaky Sound System though. So I hear that you've actually got
by the Potbellies.
Yeah, that
single,
one.
I should say.
Oh yeah.
So I hear that you've got a
2008.
An official remix by Sneaky Sound System, right?
Yeah, that was about a year and a bit ago now.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool actually. Yeah, that came out end of 2018, I think, from memory. And this whole thing came about. I signed up to Sample Tools by CR2, which is like a sample service, just like Splice or this sort of thing. And they always release cool packs, and I thought, maybe I can benefit from this, and I saw recently, at the time that they put out this, they do remix comps every now and then. Even Splice does them, and you can, and it was a really good, winner released on CR2, massive freaking dance label, one of the biggest dance music labels in the world for sure, which was great. And I was like, holy shit, this is epic. They give you a whole year's free subscription to the service, plus you get this remix signed on the label. A few other things, I can't remember what it was, but and yeah, I sent it in, didn't think anything of it. I just pretty much just started this track, just didn't really like where it was going. Was kind of nonplussed about it, and then restarted it about 2 or 3 in the morning one time, just out of nowhere. Couldn't sleep, and I was like, right, I'm getting up out of bed, gonna restart this. Had this idea for it, actually added sax in it, made this cool little groovy bass line, and sent it in, and got this email back saying, "Hi Ben, congratulations, you've won the comp."
I was just like, oh no way!
Holy shit!
Yes.
I drove to my mum's place, opened up the front door, and was fucking yelling I fucking won!
Yeah, that's it,
I couldn't
right?
believe it. I was so stoked. And Mum was like, "What's wrong?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, you have a car crash? What's happening?
Yeah, it was some stupid 1 in the morning or something. Mum was like, "What's wrong? What?" She was fucking panicked. "What's going on, Ben?" I'm like, I've won. She's like, "What did you win?" I was like, "Fucking won the comp." She's like, I told her about this comp. She's like, "Oh my God, holy shit." And I was like, "Fucking won."
Yeah, it was
And she's like, please fuck off now.
It was a worldwide comp. Myself and this other guy got signed, which was cool. I think originally it was only meant to be one winner, but they this guy was more of a Boris Bretscher kind of techno, but more down tempo techno,
minimal kind of thing. Right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And I think he's from Germany or something like that as well. So it was very cool, very very cool, and that's how it started. Now I've got this kind of nice relationship with CR2. So
Yeah,
I emailed them recently. I was like, "Do you guys know of any vocalists?" And they were like, "Well, actually, yes." And sent me a couple of cool top lines, and I haven't done anything with that yet, but.
That's amazing, though. That's pretty
cool. That was cool. And yeah, it came out with David Penn and got some cool Ibiza spins and stuff like that, which was great.
Really
and
got played in Ibiza as well. A bit.
The whole record went pretty big over there, actually, which was great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
that's actually, Ibiza.
Man, that's pretty big.
Yeah. I see all
Somehow.
those rhythm kids back in the day, a couple of years ago, when it's Excision played my track and this and that. I mean, that's just dubstep and noise. It's this is Spain, this is Ibiza. It's a different ball game.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where they wanted to premiere the record, because the original was quite a bit more stripped back, but quite driving, tech house vibe, but not I guess the Dom Dollar with the the heavy synth techs, the synth leads and whatnot in there.
Yeah.
The big on top of all the
that funky groove that he throws into it.
Correct.
The horn,
yeah, that's only really the horns. Yeah, exactly right. So yeah,
the goddamn horns.
I think it just got signed pretty much because it was so different. Towards everyone else wanted to make it like the original, but more of a rub, or more of a real deep tech sort of vibe, that's how they set it up. It was actually sampled from a disco record, Evelyn Champagne Disco.
So it was
King.
almost like they almost shoehorned it into that sort of category.
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah, so I think everyone kind of went down that route, and mine was just more melodic breakdowns.
I've listened to it, and I get real big day club vibes from it.
Exactly,
that's what I get from it.
That's exactly where I went with it, man. Exactly the way I went with it. So,
I'd love to bop to that, at a bar or something.
That's probably why it gets played in Ibiza, though, because everyone's just chilling at the beach.
Yeah,
and just right.
Yeah,
this is a good track. Right?
Yeah, I think I was just thinking beach club, day club, Cocoon or something some.
Well, I mean, we're talking about your music now. Should we premiere some?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. I was going to ask quickly, another question. So when you go to remix a track as well, do you feel sometimes it is just keeping the bass thing together, or would you rather go off in your own direction?
I've sent some demos back. When you send it off, the label needs to approve it, and all the artists that write on the track usually need to approve the
oh really
the track. Or sometimes it's just the record label, but they'll often send it don't even know if I should be mentioning this, but I won't mention it, but okay. I probably won't say that. But basically a record label, Australian label, sent out quite a decent artist that worked with Hardwell, so you can probably figure that one out if you want to go ahead and. This was quite a while ago now, but and I sent my version back, and they actually said that they liked the vibe, but the artist actually wasn't really feeling the chords, and with my schedule, I got a bit busy and I couldn't actually finish it, unfortunately. So I had to say, like, I've really run out of time. Like, the deadline's come up. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I actually can't finish it. But like, keep me in the loop for the next one. Sometimes artists won't like it, or sometimes the label will have to prove with them. So, yeah, what was the...
So, like keeping the... Sorry about it.
Yeah.
Keeping the core elements of the remix, or actually kind of just taking little snippets out and going off in your own
Some people
direction.
really like it, man. But some labels just... I don't know. It's all dependent on, like...
what they want.
Subjective, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Would you say it is one of those things where it's kind of like, you know, the label tells you how it has to be kind of thing?
You probably want to get to a stage where you can say, fuck you, this is my remix. Why'd you say you want Renna to remix it, or David Penn to remix it, or... And at that stage, like, you know, I'm not like that much of a name that it's going to be like so huge that I can just dictate how much I want, when I want it, and that's my style.
You can't call the shots kind of thing.
Whatever the product that I send back, that's what you get.
Yeah.
So some labels just, you know, some labels want it that way, and so that's cool. It's good. You know.
Have you tried to develop your own sort of style at all as well, like your own music sort of like? It's the niche. It's not the niche. It's the sign off. What's that word?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's like it starts with a V or something like that. But it's like it's one of, you know, it's the word where it's like, you know, it's your signature kind of thing. It's like, have you kind of started developing your own signature, or have you tried to? Or anything
I always
like
sort of make like cooler, kind of like piano inspired.
Yeah.
Like I just like having cool like piano drops with good energy. That's, you know. Melodic sort of breakdowns with some cool melodies, and if I can add like a cool like a sax element, or like a cool like kind of you know, percussion element to it, or something like that.
Yeah,
I just go with it. And just however the product comes out.
Yeah,
you know.
And you don't throw in too much kind of thing. You don't keep it minimal, but you don't throw way too much, and you just keep it at a good level kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been working a little bit lately on trying to get my my tracks a bit fuller. You know, because that's important. Because you can't really, you know, you can't put something out when it's a bit too thin, or it's a bit too it's underdeveloped, I suppose, in a way.
Do you master your own tracks as well, or do you
actually don't? I just send them away.
Yeah,
and that side of things just does my head in. So
and it's better. Well, yeah, as you said, like,
I'd rather have a professional do it than, you know, if you're not that confident on it, I guess.
Yeah,
but mastering's its own beast. You know, people spend forever just like teaching themselves how to master. So.
Yeah, exactly right. And depends who you send it to. Sometimes mates will do it for
pretty
cheap, and they get some biz out of it too. So that's, you know, keeps
support
the game
a local.
Yeah.
It's all about networking to an extent.
That's right. So let's take a look at your music now, I think.
Maybe start that one just halfway through, because it has a little bit of a...
Or is there something you don't want to show?
No. You can start from the beginning if you want, but there's like intros, like a minute of intro at the beginning.
And we wouldn't get flagged from it at all? Okay. All right.
Well, we're sitting here with the artist who made it.
Yeah.
Do we have permission to use your song?
Go for it, man. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, start it halfway through if you want to play it. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, start halfway.
All right, we'll start.
I just kind of meant like, you know, the
like
whole
in here or here.
Like after that first drop.
Okay. We'll play from here.
Yeah.
So you can hear the lead in. I'm guessing you've used this part to mix in.
Yeah, well, that's the first drop, but the intro is the intro, but yeah. So yeah, we put like some cool like parallel noise in this, and some stereo noise, and kind of made it a bit more cool during the breakdown.
So when you say parallel noise, it's like as if it's actually going left and right?
Yeah.
No shit, that's pretty cool. I
just,
love with the
just
panning.
to fatten up a little bit. And
I love it when tracks, it's like you put your headphones on, you can actually like just hear it just straight up. It's like panning left and right. It just gives it that energy kind of thing to an extent.
Yeah, so that was all done at the mastering and mixdown stage, which was cool. At a studio, the Grooveyard studio in Joondalup.
Really?
Yeah, so that was cool. There was a studio up there, Lee, that runs some house events around town, did it.
That saxophone's really fucking nice.
Yeah, that was actually just a sample, and I just topped it up and it ended up sounding cool, so...
No shit.
Yeah. This part has like a little arp on it, arpeggiator in the background, just slowly creeping in to build some energy, and...
Yeah, massive J-pop vibes for me, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly the route I'm going, so...
I think house has really been sort of like taking over my life at the moment. So I'm loving it, so why not? The moment everyone's waiting for is the drop, obviously.
Yeah. we added like this massive sub bass on that. So I think it's actually called Decapitator because it just fucks up the bass. It's just like, it's a plug-in.
Yeah.
But it's just like really full on like an overdrive to an extent. Yeah.
Have you one button, just bang.
No shit. Have you ever used sausage fattener before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Looks cool too. So
yeah, exactly. You just twist it and watch his face get really fat. But unfortunately,
so what element do you like most about this track? What are you most proud of in this one?
Definitely that bass line. Like
the bass line.
That's groovy. Very groovy.
Layers and just about being cool actually.
Yeah, do you want to give us an overview of how you made the sub bass? Or overly complicated, you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know. I just laid it up, and it was almost like a guitar, but then there's like a sub, which is like a MIDI sub underneath that. And I think the guy that did my mix down really just added this cool, like a couple plugins to make it fat. And I just over that drop, I just added this cool clap and snare combo, and
What do you think the overall reception was to the song? Do you think, because you got, well, it says here on your SoundCloud that you got 6,500 plays, so that's pretty good for
That's not bad. 215 likes and 27 reposts. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not better than anyone else in this room.
That's like my my personal page too, and I haven't really got very many followers, so I don't really push my SoundCloud too heavily at the moment.
Would you say it's a bit of a dying platform to an extent? Because it's not, but at the same time, it's like you can try and push SoundCloud, but is it really going to give you a benefit to an extent? Like,
hard to say, man, because people are still using it. So
yeah, I completely stopped using it. It's just like, what's the point?
What else what would you go on though? I suppose Spotify was probably the next option.
When they started telling everyone that you could upload DJ mixes, I started uploading all my mixes and paying for it, and then they ended up just going back on their word and taking it off, kind of thing. So with that, I just swapped back to Mixcloud and just kept uploading straight up there.
The trick to that though is to like
the pitch
put
or
the
something,
fades in the very front, so the first like 15-20 seconds is faded in, so that they don't immediately get the copyright, and then
or you can just pitch it up or down a few semitones.
Yes, that's what I always got
Quick
told,
tip, folks.
Yeah. It's true. Yep.
That's how you can get away with it, I think, if you're streaming YouTube or Facebook. If you want to try and get away with the bot that copyright strikes you, then I think in OBS you can actually just apply a filter to pitch down a few semitones.
Yep.
Or up a few semitones or whatever you want. So anyway, handy tip. I thought I'd throw that one out there.
Yep. Well, as long as it doesn't sound whack, but
that's it. You don't make it sound too up or too down. But I want to jump back to the whole thing with like Taylor, like, doing the saxophone. Like, how does it work? Do you play instrumentals and he just does the sax over? Like, do you guys play the song Infinity at all? Like,
he loves that one, actually.
That song.
Yeah, it's a tune. We actually started out by doing things like Jubel by, I think it's Klingande, which is cool.
I think I've heard
Sax
that.
Anthem, stuff like Robin Schul's Sun Goes Down.
Yeah,
and we ended up just building this set list of of just sax records that we could just play during any time, whether it was just like an early time or peak time, like Destination Unknown classic during our more commercial sets, or we could bring it back to some more like beach house stuff, or I don't really like to we ended up doing that way, but we should have in hindsight probably just gone, look, I'm just going to let the sax player just cover over whatever we want, and just do their own thing. Like, they're their own artists, they sort of play along, but it's hard to sort of say like where you would like that to go, but usually we could pick a few tracks, they can learn the cool riffs or whatever and just sort of go along, and the rest can just be freestyle. That's the way I'll do it.
I can imagine freestyle would be so good.
And it makes it more interesting too. You never know what's coming up, or you never know how it's going to turn out, or
it's a good way to go. It just like gives everyone as well the atmosphere. It's like, holy shit, it's just kind of on the fly to an extent, instead of just being like, it's a pre-recorded set and no one's really stop biting me. What are you doing?
Studio cats.
That's it. Oh, wait, no, he's biting me. He never does that.
It does now.
Yeah, apparently my cat bites me now after looking after him like a princess. So with that though, like, what's your funnest gig, doing it with Taylor and playing with the sax then? Because it just sounds amazing doing a live set.
Cool, like, I mean, he's in Brisbane now. He's in the army, so he's living in Brisbane. But I play with this girl Laura at the moment. She's really cool too. She just has a cool image, and she's just great. She just we when we prepare for stuff, we often like have sort of like ideas of where we want to go with it, and then we sort of combine like there's this couple of really good sax players in Melbourne, which do some great things, and we just sort of say, look, this is the style that we think we should go for, and then we sort of just team up and get a cool middle point, and that's the beauty of something live, is that it's live, right?
Exactly.
So you can just go along with it and take it where the night goes or where the set goes, because you never know what that crowd is going to like when you get in front of you, and that's the art of the DJ. So you can read the crowd and you can go with the night. And
I'm so happy you said that, because that is what our job is to an extent, right? Yeah. It's basically going there and going
people watching.
yeah, but it's like, you know, those people want this music. I reckon they'll want this music. They're vibing well to it. I'm going to keep going with that kind of thing. Or it's like maybe I'm getting requests for maybe rock and roll or indie or something like that. Then I'm going to start moving it towards that direction and just being able to play appropriately. Instead of just going, I like this song, they'll like it, they're going to like it. And like, it doesn't always work like that at all.
Yeah, totally right. Yeah.
But like even with the saxophone, it'd just be amazing, because then you can see it's like people are kind of not vibing it, or they might be just like, you know, going back to their chairs and chilling. But then it's like you just go up and like get the sax out and like, you know, go to the front of the stage and start grooving out. Fuck, this is cool. I want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it can definitely. I remember Taylor used to run in and like, you know, serenade and whatnot, and
that's
it
it,
used
right?
to help make it a bit more intimate, which is cool. It's definitely something that, you know, venues should look into. Like I reckon, Coconut Grove, which is my main Saturday residency.
Whereabouts is Coconut Grove?
So it's right next to Paramount. It's the old Varga Lounge. They renovated it.
Oh no shit!
Holds about roughly about 800 or 900 people.
See, I always thought it was like in Subiaco as well, or something like that, or it was like near Ice Cream Factory. But then again, Paramount is in.
It's right. It's part of Ice Cream Factory, so it's behind the Ice Cream Factory. Oh, it's the old right next to Paramount. It's right in the heart of Northbridge. The owners that own it also own Ice Cream Factory space as well, which is cool.
I've been a few times there. They've got the like a balcony out the back that overlooks.
That's it.
Where the Ice Cream Factory.
That's about 100 people up there. It's a little cocktail bar sort of balcony area, which specializes in cocktails upstairs. Yeah. So when Ice Cream Factory's on, then you can go up there.
Yeah, really cool venue.
Overlook it.
Yeah, and it's been there forever now, hasn't it? It's like 5 years or something like that. 4 years.
The Ice Cream Factory space has been running about 5 years, but Coconut's about a year and a half actually. Yeah, it's still pretty young, but it's definitely like one of the hot spots for sure.
It's funny though, isn't it? It's like one of those things where it's like they apply for like a short-term lease where it's like a pop-up bar, and 5 years later they're still there.
Yeah, actually, that's right. Yeah, I mean, funny story with this. They had the Varga Lounge, which was around a long time ago, and that shut down. And they owned the space for about, I think, 10 or 15 years. Didn't do anything with it. Just held on to liquor license until it went right. And I think they were going to originally turn it into like a I think it was almost meant to be like Northridge Brewing Company.
Oh, really?
Like a big, like kind of that kind of vibe.
That would
and
be
then
amazing.
NBC obviously got the they got the license first, and you know, then when they found out it was going to turn into that, and then it was going to be like a circus themed bar with like entertainment, that sort of stuff, which was going to be cool too. Right. And then that kind of like changed again as well, and
yeah, that would have been so expensive, honestly.
Yeah, it would have actually, yeah. And I think they just went, you know, they've got this big festoon at the back with some cool lighting, and they've got like a big tent, which is kind of that vibe, and I think they just ran with it, which has ended up, and it's I mean, like, you know, the places that I can think of that are, you know, are definitely the busiest spots in town would be like, Northbridge and Cityways would be, you know, Coconut Grove would definitely be one. Paramount would be another one. The Court would be next. Market Grounds, those kind of vibes. So
yeah,
that's cool.
It's one of those things where it's like the new bars that just look really, really good. That just kind of gets that attention, kind of thing.
It turns into like a proper nightclub. Like it's just, you know, you've got all the moving head lighting. You've got the stage, big sound system. I think they spent $250,000 on just sound, which is incredible.
No shit! Wow.
Very,
got,
very,
like,
very
Funkton
cool.
ones or something like that.
They've got Void in there, which is really nice. Same
Void.
as the Court. So
very,
nice.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so it's super clean.
So wait, those are the speakers where they're like up on the pole and they've got the big circle things.
They look like cones, almost like round. They're the ones you see in the booth there. But
I've
they've
always
got them
wanted
around
to
the
play
venue.
on those. I've always wanted to just like turn them up and see what it's like. Because do you get full range? You get bass, mids, and highs out of those?
Yeah, I mean, they're
or is it just
pretty
like
clean for the most part. So
because I've always thought since like they're up on those pole things, you probably only get mids and highs, but not.
I have no idea. I'm not an audio guy, but I would assume that they would
look
only
up,
be taking care of the mid frequencies and the high
look up
frequencies.
Linear arrays PAs.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah.
But,
so yeah, no, it's solid. They've done
Mr.
a really good job.
Audiophile.
Linear.
Also have like late night like food, like, you know, pizzas and
that's one thing they always
jaffles. Holy moly,
you get jaffles.
Sometimes
there.
I'll message one of the managers, Travis. Big shout out because I know that you love me, man. So don't hate if my friends come and ask on the door and try and get in on entry and But wicked jaffle. Sometimes I message him and be like, "Hey man, I'm freaking starving. Can you please bring me a jaffle before I leave?" And he's like, "Yes, I'll sort it." Yes.
Legend.
Okay,
So, yeah.
now we're talking about this, right? Let's talk about the perks of the job, right? How good is it that sometimes, just like you go and play out from like you're saying at the beginning, like, 8 till 5 a.m. in the morning, but then you might have one of your close mates just come up and be like, oh yeah, I brought you some pizza. And like,
and sometimes
I haven't eaten anything all day.
It's true, yeah. I mean, when you got long sets like that, I get starving towards the end of the night, and it's like you start your day later and you finish your day later, so it's almost like an 8-hour push behind.
Yeah.
So night work is, it takes a toll and part of the job, but you wouldn't do it if you didn't love it. And we often hit this really good dim sum place called Little China Girl.
Oh yeah,
it's just around the corner. They're wicked dim sum, and we get there and it's just like,
I've been there, but I'll take that recommendation.
Yeah, I've been there once and I was like, this is good. Yeah. This is not bad.
Good little spot. They do these not like a dessert. It's like a custard, but it's in the shape of like a koi fish.
Oh really?
Wicked. I don't know. Yeah. So
okay. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you can also get like the sesame balls sometimes. They got the custard in them as well. Sorry about the cat.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You're not
Why
allergic
does
to
the
him or
cat
anything.
intend to sit in front of the camera?
Cats tend not to like me, so
no, he's a teddy bear. Yeah, I mean he bit me. That's the first time he's bit me in maybe about 6 months. Trust me, he's a teddy bear. But ignore the cat. You can push. I'll move him.
You cat man. I don't want to get freaking.
Watch out, Sass. Wait, get out of the camera.
We're having a cat break right now.
We're having a cat break. Oh, you little shit.
But yeah, so the last time this happened, my mate kind of got on this YouTube vid and was trying to tell everyone that his cat was amazing and whatnot. And ended up fucking attacking him on this fucking live vid, so it was quite funny.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos like that, but not live though.
I've got to send it to you. It's quite good. But yeah. Anyway,
would you say with the diet though, it's like, so
oh man,
would you like finish if you finish at 5 a.m. for example, right? And you get home at 6 and then you'll be like, I just feel like a ham, cheese, tomato toasty or something like that.
I bought that for a reason, man. I got this fucking awesome toasty at home. And just
it's so good, right? I love toasties.
It'll be 6 in the morning and be like, look, this is breakfast. This might even be lunch at the same time. I don't know how long I'm going to sleep for. I try and be healthy during the week. Like Monday to Thursday, I'm like pretty healthy with it. I try and be good with it, and then, if you're running on the weekends, you can't really avoid it. Sometimes you just have to grab a burger on the way, or sometimes you got to try, dim sum late at night. It's not great, but balance, right?
Yeah, that's what exactly it. But do you do much exercise during the week or gym membership?
Yeah, I got gym membership.
And just balance it out.
I mean, I'm a bit slack with it lately. I was supposed to go last night, but I ended up watching Jason Bourne. Oh, really? Got on the couch, it was on TV, and I was just like, look, man,
It's a good film, right?
Damn good film.
Was it the first one?
It was like, it's the one where like Matt Damon wasn't in it, but it was like Bourne. I don't know, Supremacy or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, Supremacy, I think it was that one,
Yeah.
Good old Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
That's it, right?
So, shit.
But yeah, because like I was going to suggest, but with the diet thing, like for me, I try and keep it healthy and I try and, just try and keep it healthy, but it's just so hard. Like,
can be,
last Friday night, it's like, as soon as I was running late, had to go out and had to go to Market Grounds, right? So I have a few slices of pizza at Market Grounds. Yep. On the way to Market Grounds, I get a meatball sub from Subway, which is not a good way to start at all, right?
Or a great way, I don't know. But I know what you mean. Yeah, not
it's just all the sodium and all the fat and the salt and, you got to be careful.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's just, it's sometimes it can be complex because it's like, the venues that we work at as well. It's like they offer greasy food sometimes because that's what drunk people love, right? Oh, man. Who doesn't love a good kebab?
A couple of crispy boys and a couple of chips. Can't go wrong.
That's it, right? And like the court with their pizza and stuff like that. I don't know if they still do it, but that's one of the reasons why I love the court.
How good is it? Yeah.
You stay in the venue and you're like, give me a slice of pizza.
The food at the court is amazing. Like all the food actually is great. But
they've done it right. Yeah. Like that place is amazing for what it is.
Got to be a good balance with venues.
Especially with the Red Bull bloody aeroplane as well above the stage.
Oh yeah. They're sponsored. That's one of their major sponsors actually. So
I'm not surprised. Cool. Like you can't just put a Red Bull plane up without being sponsored by them, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we were talking about the pros of DJing.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's really talked about
the negatives and the positives.
Well, everyone talks about the negatives of DJing, but nobody really talks about the positive. And by positives, I mean like the backdoor stuff, the positive backdoor stuff, like getting into clubs for free, or getting on VIP lists, or getting booked at other places because you know people and stuff like that.
All right, I hear a double question going on.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so top three. What are the top 3 positives and my top 3 positives? Right.
Okay.
You were hinting at it. I thought I might as well just tie the knot.
Let's start with you, Ben.
Yep. Top 3 positives.
For you, do you reckon it is being a DJ?
Well, I mean, for me personally, I just get to do what I love, right? Like I love music, and for me, that's got to be the first one. It's like I just do what I love, and I get to make
people
money out
don't
of it at the same
understand
time.
me when I tell them that I DJ because it's fun. Like it's super fun just to like
it is,
mix songs together.
Yeah, you just get lost in it, like I was saying at the beginning.
I reckon you just meet lots of friends. That's got to be a good one. Like your network's good. Like meet lots of interesting people, and you know, I've been in so many. I've got so many stories about it. Like it's ridiculous. Definitely, like one would be meeting friends and people, and you just end up just like everyone. You know, it's a tight knit community, which is cool usually, and you meet people out and get to be social at the same time. And you get to be paid for it, and I've made a living at it for the last 10 years.
What about getting to go to clubs for free? Or
that's cool. Yeah. I mean, that's
would it be up in the
bar
top 3
cards
though?
or...
Yeah, but that's,
yeah.
Like for me, I would honestly say getting a bar card's nothing really that special. Like for me, like if you can use it on food,
go out, you want to spend,
that's exactly it. I usually just give it to my mates. Honestly,
same,
It's like, you know, that's what we can talk about that next with like the alcohol consumption kind of thing whilst you're mixing out and about.
Well,
but
just while we're here, like, is it condoned by nightclubs to share your drinks?
Usually not. I would say at bars and pubs, I've been told off for it a couple of times, but I've just said I'm not drinking tonight. I don't want to actually have anything.
What about you, Ben?
You know, here it is.
It's not really a condoned thing, is it?
It depends on the place, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the place. But if you get a tab allowance, and what does it matter who spends it, right? I guess. I don't know. Look,
one of the
I'm a bit of a
being
fence-sitter man, so
yeah,
sometimes it can be, you know. But yeah, lots of mates just come through, and if I have some drinks and they want to have some drinks too, I don't see any harm in
but that's
sharing
exactly
caring,
right.
So,
That's and it will keep them around longer as well. To be honest, like you know, it depends on your mates or whatever. But if you're like, you know, you're mixing in the corner and you're doing your thing, and then you're like, oh, by the way, guys, let's all get a shot of tequila. Fuck yeah, the party's on.
No tequila for me, man. Fireball, White Sambuca, then we're on.
Oh, White Sambuca, Patron's nice though. I can get around that.
Yeah, a little coffee, action.
Right, so we've had your one positive.
Yeah, I don't know. That's probably the main one, man. Other positives, that's a tough one. I could probably think of more negatives than positives, but the positives for me would just definitely be like I get to make a living out of it. I meet lots of friends. You know, like I've met like heaps of celebrities and you know supported some pretty cool acts over the years.
Aspect of it.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. That's cool. You know, I'm a pretty social person. I think like.
Oh, honestly, that's one of mine as well.
Quickly, I do see you there, Tim Preston.
Yeah, we see you.
Our chat there.
You're coming on soon next week. But yeah, 100% agree as well. It's like being able to socialize, network, and just it's so good. Like, would you say that networking is like a very important thing with like the career choice we've kind of taken in a way?
Yeah,
because it's like it is.
It is.
You got to know the right people, and in Perth, we're tiny.
Yeah.
Like, do you think like potentially like, some people I can imagine could take offense to this, but it's not really taking offense. But like, if you packed up everything and moved to LA, do you think you can still be doing what you're doing here in LA? Or would you have to start again to an extent?
Would always be like, something. Yeah, fresh starts are always difficult. Like I think, and definitely a new city, don't know anyone yet, blah blah. But if you already know like how to get gigs, where to get gigs, where to retain gigs, I'm sure, like I'm certain that you know if your skill's good and you get a chance and you kill it, then they'll maybe book you again, and then it'll slowly flow on. And that's how I think of my career, and that's been my entire career. Like basically, just like worked hard, got an opportunity. Then ended up just like retaining whatever I've kept for however long because I do a good job. I don't push the boundaries too much with the right people. I don't, I'm not too diva at my gigs or whatnot. And
but that's a good thing to do though. It's like I've always found as well. Sometimes it's like go to work, do your job, be polite, be nice, but then go home kind of thing. Don't linger around, don't get drunk, don't do this, don't do that. It's your workplace. You know,
some venues are cool if you get a little sideways, but it depends on the place. It all depends on your relationship with them, how long you've been there for. And I think also like just build your name that way, and you can't really go wrong. Just be nice. Just be nice. That's it. Like,
it's just one of those things.
It's a cutthroat industry, and people will remember you and pass your name on if you do any funny business.
Spot on, man. Yeah.
And also, don't forget, we're a small little city, so with that, you can get the snow globe effect. And it's part of one of the reasons why I moved out of Busselton. And the snow globe.
We're not a small city.
No, we are. And we aren't. Well, are we going down this pathway again?
We're the 83rd largest city in the world.
83rd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know how many cities there are in the world, Alex?
Like 300.
Probably more than that.
5,000.
I couldn't guess that.
There's nearly 200 countries.
Yeah, so there's probably
and each country would have hundreds of cities.
Yeah.
That's a cool fact, actually. I like facts. I like little,
Well, like another little thing that Mitch pointed this out to me the other day. So it's like, what, we've got a population of 24 million or something like that?
In Australia, yeah.
Yeah, 24 million.
Yeah, that's right.
America has 350 million.
Crazy, hey? I saw the stat yesterday. It was like, we've had like 2,800 cases of like COVID in total.
Yeah.
And Florida is 25 million. They've had 2.8 million cases or something like that.
Yeah.
200 and 300, whatever it was, something along the 300,000. It was like 10% of their population has actually been flagged as COVID cases. Crazy though. But,
it's getting out of control.
Yeah, US has gone bonkers for sure. Like
Corona is not good. COVID is not good, unfortunately.
But
And this bloody cat.
We're very lucky to be in WA at the moment with what's been happening for sure.
Very lucky.
Cats can't get corona, luckily. So
Yep, which is good. So I didn't actually get to add. He's good in the room, right? I like him in the room.
For all you that don't know, I'm shaking my head at Alex because the cat's on the table. Are you allergic to cats at all?
No, we already said that before.
All right, that's good. I figured I would just ask just in case.
It's a prerequisite. I have to ask people now.
Yeah. Bit late for that now, but yeah.
So take a vote in the chat, guys. Do you want Sassy to stay on the podcast, or should we kick him out?
No,
take a vote.
Surely not.
Surely not. Yeah, come on. It's my cat.
It's up to the chat now. I put it in the chat's hand.
No. Don't put it in the chat's hand. Not in the public's hand.
Studio cats.
You know how the public is.
I'm all for complete anarchy, so the chat gets to decide.
So we didn't skip, but my 3 positives, I have to 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Like the ability to go out and create memories, and it's like go out, you play a song and you see someone's first kiss kind of thing, and it's like it's just amazing watching things just happen and unravel.
People watching's great, hey?
Yeah. But then it's also one of those things where it's like like when fights start or something happens, then usually the DJ is one of the first people to turn the music down and be like, sort that out kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of the work. That's part of the job. And it gives it that entertainment, unfortunately, if dickheads try and ruin it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying that's a positive. I'm saying that's just part of it. But then I'd definitely say the second positive, food. I love the food.
The perks that I get from
I'm a
food.
foodie. Like, I am an absolute foodie.
Yeah.
And just like the bar tab, like, as I said, not buying alcohol, but being able to go to like a venue and being like, I had the Parmigiana last time. I wonder what that penne tastes like.
That's definitely a cool perk. Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah. And then, just, I guess, being nocturnal. That would be the third thing.
You like it? Yeah, I definitely like being up, knowing the whole world's mostly asleep. So,
it's
wherever you are, for sure.
It's one of those things, though, because it's like, it can take its toll. And they do say every day you should get sunlight and, get vitamin E or whatever it is. Right? Is it vitamin E or vitamin D?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D, all right? But it's one of those things
D for daddy son.
It's like when you go out at night, it's just a different atmosphere than during the day to an extent. And I mean, like, obviously Perth is small in my opinion, right? But, when you go out into Murray Street or you go into Northbridge on a Friday night, Saturday night, and everyone's just in this good mood of everyone's just trying to have fun, everyone's just trying to have a good time, this and that. It just, it gives you such a good feeling. It's like, I'm actually going to this club. I'm going to make
definitely
people
an
dance.
exciting job for sure in that way. Yeah. Yep, agreed.
Do you ever feel like you could do it forever? To an extent?
I've thought about this a bit lately. I mean, I definitely had some time to reflect over that whole like ISO period. It's an interesting one because I don't think that you can do it forever unless you've like made a career out of like, releasing records and whatnot. And there's like, I read this stat was like less than 1% of artists actually make it as a career. Which is,
but you've made a career out of it now though, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know if I'll be doing it forever. Seriously. I can't imagine a time if I'm like 45 or 50 and being like, hey honey, I'm just going to hit the club. And then suddenly,
why not?
My wife.
Maybe you've got the wrong wife.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Look,
we can't all be
example. Not hitting the clubs with it,
Look, we can't all be example and have this hot fucking wife like that, I mean, we can't, I don't know.
I don't know, Ben. You're pretty cute. You can go places.
Shit, this escalated.
It's not gay unless you look each other in the eyes. It's fine.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't reckon you can do it forever. It's definitely like a short-lived thing, and you have your peak and you have your like, some people just become has-beens and they make one hit or they don't make a hit or they, whatever. By the time you get to a certain age, it does not look good. It's not a good look to be like, I don't think anyway, to be like, hey honey,
what
I'm
do
gonna
you
hit
think
the fucking
about?
dance.
Do you know like Chocolate Puma?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, I think the oldest one of them is like 60 now.
Yeah, they're quite old,
above and beyond even.
But the example there was like,
shit,
they made a career out of writing music.
That's it.
Right? So the artist side is cool. Like the Pinal guys are like,
Do you think you could write music forever then?
once again, it'd be
I
one
haven't
of those
thought that far
lifestyles,
ahead
right?
yet. Yeah, I guess.
Because like, do you want to be going on a plane every second day?
I think I'm going to give it at least. Like, I think the 5-year assessment would be cool. Like, I just turned 30, so if I get to 35 and I'm thinking this is actually, yeah. If I get to 35, I reckon, and I start assessing it, and it just like isn't going where I want, you know. You just take it. You just take it as it comes. That's how. That's artist life, you know. Not everybody has what. You know, you can look onto someone and say, that person's really making it and I want to be that person. Or you can look at someone and be like, look, they probably need to hang up the cans after a while. Do you know what I mean? And you know.
It's just one of those things you never know.
Just roll with it.
Yeah. Like for me, I would like to say, and I've told a few people this, but it's like, if I could just keep going until I drop, I would just keep doing it. Yeah. But the thing is, though, is I don't
have a backup, man, for sure. Like,
like I do have a little bit of a backup, but the way things have kind of just gone and just worked out, I'm just so happy with this. I get to go and play at bars and pubs kind of thing. Because like playing at clubs, that's a whole different story.
Yep, definitely.
Like, would you say that you could potentially just go and play at bars and pubs on the weekend once a week kind of thing and get that extra bit of money and, you know, just be able to go and still do what you used to do when you were younger kind of thing?
Yep. I think when I get a bit older, like, I think if I still want to have music in my life in that way and DJing, I think that will definitely be, a good avenue to go down.
I honestly think there are a lot of old folks out there that are secretly hiding a DJ deck in their, you know, games room.
100%.
So
many people.
Yeah, definitely.
Turntables,
probably
everything.
Thousands of them in Perth.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
It's hard not to find a DJ nowadays, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
how do you feel about that, by the way? Just throwing it off the cuff here. What do you think about the saturation of the DJ
I would say it's hard to find a good
It's
DJ.
hard
to find a good DJ.
That's actually quite a good question, right? Because I mean, like, from playing in Melbourne and that sort of stuff, like a fair bit. There's a lot of older DJs over there, and there's this, and a lot of people, even in their 40s, will still be like out partying at clubs and bars, happening clubs and bars. And because the scene is so much bigger over there in terms of that, there's not this pressure to settle. And I feel like a lot of Perth people just end up settling. And they just like, oh, like I bumped into someone recently and they were like, yeah, I turned 24. Like, I'm getting old, man. Like, I'm not really going out as much. What the fuck are you talking about, man? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of, look, fair enough. But Melbourne, like, it definitely is like, there's a lot of places where it's like an older scene. And there's a lot of older DJs. So, I mean, look at Fatboy Slim. Like, he's like, you know,
he's old.
60 odd. Oh, you know, I think he's in his 60s, right?
I think he's
like
in his 60s,
Yeah, you know, he's got a child and she's great and she's learning to DJ now and the cycle goes around. So interesting. I think everyone needs to just think of their own like journey and their own perspective, and that's where you should just, you know, pick up and set off and end wherever you need to.
I've actually been talking about this for quite a few weeks. That's a great answer. It's all about perspective, isn't it, to an extent? It's like the way you can kind of treat the situation, be like, well, the thing is I could settle down. Or I can see that there might be a door opening sometime soon. And I've also said this to quite a few mates where it's like one door opens or one door closes, another one opens. And it's like you just have to be able to be aware and go, okay, well, if I go through that door, this might happen, and just try and
This has happened like a little bit like over the time. I can think of like some places where I would have never taken stuff normally. And I just thought, look, I haven't got much on late at night or I haven't got this on. And it's led to like a full residency or whatever it might be, or, you know, it just, that's the circle, right? And I definitely would agree with that. And anyone who's like looking to like thinking about where they're at with their career or thinking about where they want to go with it, just like take your perspective or like definitely have someone as like a role model that you would look to, or not necessarily always like a role model, but just someone who you think that's a cool career path. I can see myself doing that. And how do I get there? And you need to have a plan for sure.
And it's just
there
a
needs
deep
to be
thing.
there needs to be some stepping stones.
It's almost like a guilty pleasure, like for a DJ to have like almost like, this is gonna sound really nerdy, but like to have it like a pad one.
You
know what I mean?
Fuck yeah.
Have a little pad one DJ.
No,
I don't know. I find it really fun to teach people how to DJ.
No, I do. I 100% the same as well. Like teaching someone that's never been able to do it before, as long as they're not just sitting there just like, oh, can I play rhythm or can I do this or do that?
What do you mean? Like, if they want to, guys, if you want to play rhythm, come to me. I'll teach you how to play rhythm.
Yeah, you can, but I'll be like, don't play that on my PA speakers, please don't.
I'm out of here, guys.
Let's learn house.
I don't give a shit about your PA speakers, bro.
Yeah, I'll just straight up be like, no, let's learn house or techno or something that's, you know, something that sounds good.
If you want to jump into the deep end, we can just.
I got like a bit of a controversial opinion here, but I feel like the reason why I got into house music was because it's a journey. It's like you can ebbs and flows, and you know you can build it, and you can. Whereas like I didn't really get into trap or dubstep or rhythm or any of those kind of like bass sounds because I feel like it's just like, you know, feels like it's a bit too much in your face.
I
the whole
have
time.
noticed that as well. I mean, I
A
obviously
good friend has always told me, right, that if you take the sorry for interrupting, if you take the bass out of that music, right, like heavy bass music, if you can hum it or you can try and make the sounds with your mouth, right, then it's music. Right, but if it's bass music and you take it out, it's just noise.
Bass.
That's why it's bass music. It needs the bass to give it that sound to an extent.
Well,
right?
let me tell you from a bass head that it's for me at least, it's not about, and this great thing about music is so subjective. But for me, like when I listen to bassier music, I'm not looking out for the traditional stuff that I would look out for in a normal track. I'm looking for the energy of the track. Yeah. I'm looking for the emotion that it brings out in you. Like most of a good bass track is going to hype you up in some way. Yeah. And like, for example, you've got G House and they play with just really weird sounds. And with some like vocal chops, or then you've got like Jack and House, which is like really fast and jumpy. Or then you've got like rhythm and dubstep, which are all about like sort of like the grit and the grime, and it's the whole genre is about like fuck you almost, like it's a giant fuck you, and that's why it's great, But
I would also say it like has some sort of correlation with like rebellion to an extent, where kids like
back the same with heavy metal, right?
Yeah, exactly, right.
Or rock back in the day, back in the 50s,
black metal, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, would you guys say it's like every song has a place and a time to an extent? Because like whenever I hear music that I haven't heard before, I just think like just like when we listened to your track before, it's like I can definitely see this at a beach bar kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100% agree with that.
And then it's just like with that music that it's like, would you tailor your sets to an extent? Like when you go out and play a set, would you just take like a thumb drive of like 3,000 songs, or would you organize your playlists kind of thing? So it'd be like, I know I'm going to play.
Good question. How do you set up your playlist?
Like 150 songs, or
a lot of DJs will kill me over this, but
give us all your secrets.
Come on, tell us the goods.
No, a lot of DJs would definitely kill me over this, but I don't even use Rekordbox. I've got it, but I don't use it at the moment. Really? Right? Like there were some bug issues in the beginning and whatnot, so. That's a bit of a long story, but I just have folders of playlists of stuff that I would play either at like a festival set or whatever it might be.
Does that mean you don't analyze your tracks?
That is correct.
Wow,
that's pretty cool.
That's
that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, look, if
that's a whole new level of respect, my dude.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
If you know your music,
that, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, look, if you know how to if you know how to mix and you know your music, like how many bars are in the intro before breakdown, or where like. If you know your music, you can play the set that you know.
I really respect that.
So it's almost like it's not quite the same, but it's almost like playing vinyl, right? So you can see where the needle's moving on the record. It is like
playing vinyl. Yeah, you're putting a blindfold over yourself. But
I still put all like my hot cues and whatnot that I might need in my intros or I might need in the track. But that's only that's only the mix in. So the mix out will be like Well, and I just arrange my folders in a playlist, and I have folders like my R&B, or I might have like. House stuff, or I might, depending on where the set is and where I play and how I play, and
that's
how many people, and it's all taken.
So you're just taking all your music with you. Are you taking like a hard drive or a really big USB?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but also, that's what I feel like makes my sets different, because I don't ever have like a lot of DJs who play Rekordbox will just play. Oh, that's what I played last week in that exact order.
Yeah,
so my set's always fresh.
DJ, because you're playing like the same, like over and over again. You want that difference, so it's going to become too much of a hassle just to like set your playlists up all the time. So just take all your music and just go off the cuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just I feel like it's just been like. Yeah, it just keeps it fresh, and I feel like it just keeps it like new and fresh, and it's on the fly every time, and that's what makes it different and interesting.
But that's so amazing. Like just what you said, it's like the thing, your music, right? That's one of the biggest things about being a DJ or like production or anything like that. It's like you got to know how it works. Go in
blind, for sure.
Yeah, you cannot go in blind. And the amount of people that do go in blind, they only take 30 songs and they know those 30 songs, but then they get to 29
If you go to an
songs.
event with 30 songs, you're in the wrong. I'm just saying.
I've met so many kids.
Yeah, same actually. Yeah, I've met a lot of people that do it as well. They're just, oh fuck, this is my set list and I can't deviate no matter how the crowd reacts.
That's it.
I'm just stuck in this one set.
Working DJs that do that?
Not really. It's more just like smaller, like
event
DJs or people who don't DJ very
kids that are about.
Here's a lesson now for you bedroom DJs: don't do that.
It's the kids that do the circuit in a way. That's the word for it.
Yeah, just bits and pieces that aren't like they just haven't got the experience, and they're just worried, and they just shit. I think that this is roughly what I'm going to play, and this will be sick, and I'm just going to jump in and do it. Like. If you know your genre, if you know your music, just like go on the fly and just feel the crowd out. That's the best way to. That's the only way to DJ.
That is so good you said that.
You don't DJ
I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah.
Because it's all about.
It might sound
old
school, man, but it works, right? So
it's old school, but it's exactly how you're supposed to do it. It's like she does not enjoy that song.
And you don't have to say yes to requests either. You don't have to say yes to them. It's a request,
like saying yes.
not a demand. But yeah, you can. If you want to work it and it works, go for it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, then like, you know.
Yeah, you just
I've got this
politely
t-shirt
say
that
no.
says no request.
I spent
Really?
It's quite good. Yeah.
Nice.
I wear it last week.
I just want to explain to people what it means to
Yeah.
DJ without record boxed music. So when you put your tracks into record box, it analyzes the tracks and it creates a beat grid that can be used on
Like
you
a
know,
colour
DJ
waveform.
equipment, Pioneer DJ equipment.
Yep.
And so when you just throw a MP3 or a WAV file onto your USB and you don't record box it, you can still plug it into the club standard decks. But you won't get any of the cue points. You won't get waveform.
Yeah, you can't see a single thing.
Breakdowns.
I think you can see the waveform, but it takes forever to load.
No. You have to play the song out, and then it'll get the waveform. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then
I
when
don't
you
know.
take
I've
the
never
thumb
done it
drive
before, but
when you take
mad
the thumb,
props.
But the thing is, though, if you let that song play out and you get the whole waveform, you take the thumb drive out. Yeah. It's gone. Yeah. Next CDJ, no waveform. So it's pretty cool.
It does make it a little bit more difficult for sure.
That makes it a lot more fun and exciting.
You're used to it now.
Totally, yeah.
To a more modern DJ like myself, that just seems crazy. It's not to say that I can't mix. I'm not very good at it, obviously. But in an emergency, I can mix something like that. But I'm not going to do it all night because I'd be sitting there for like 2.5 minutes of the track just trying to work out where I'm going to mix in and stuff when... You know, I like where all my hotkeys are. You know, I know where everything is. So.
But the best thing about that though is that you can literally go and jump on any equipment basically, and you know your music, and you can just go, it's similar. Turntables, spin it up, away we go, kind of thing.
I don't reckon I'd have any trouble on any platform, any deck. Anything.
That's it, because you trained yourself basically. That's amazing. It's really cool. Because for me, like I get glued to my LCD screen. This is like
I will say though,
I'm
definitely gonna get fucking record. I've got it, and I've just bought some fresh hard drives and. I'm going to get going that way, like, for sure. Because I know sometimes I'm like, holy shit, like, I really need to get onto this sometimes. Because it, you know, depending on the set, depending on where you are.
It might improve your set to have all that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, look, pretty shit. So, you know, maybe I might just...
Well, obviously not, because you're playing everywhere. So
you're
obviously like talking yourself down there.
Yeah, I'm just having a laugh. Yeah.
You think it's a bad thing that you're not, but me and Alex are just impressed.
Straight up. The fact that you can just put your headphones on and be like, all right, spin it right up. All right, here we go. Yep, mix it in there.
Pretty much, yeah. You can also, there's also like tells in each track as to, you know, if you know like general song structure, and I think that's also come from like production as well. Yeah. Because when you make a track, you know, you've got your arrangement. The arrangement of the track is generally like how most tracks play out. You know, the first part is all intro, last part's going to be intro. There's a breakdown element and a verse. There's a drop element that's X amount of bars. There's another verse which is the same amount of bars as the first verse, and that's how most tracks flow on. You know, so
song structure and stuff like that really
exactly
helps
right
with DJing.
So, and if you know that and you know what genre you're playing, mostly that's it. You know, unless you're playing like I don't know some.
Something way out there,
so
something like even old school analog recordings as well. It's like the beat grids go in and out. Like I think it's like "Money" by Pink Floyd. I think it's 8x3 or something like that.
Because they're all played live, they're all recorded live. So
that's exactly it. And that's what we've talked about this in the past as well. We've only got 13 minutes as well, by the way, left. But one of the things I wanted to say as well, it's like with old school analog recordings, it kind of gives it a whole new level of skill being able to mix that in, I would say, because then it's like once you mix it in and the beat grid's in that way, and then you try and mix it out and the beat grid's all over the shop over here.
Got to keep the track.
It's like you got to really know how to.
You know, in record box you can separate the beat grid.
Yeah, same thing in Tractor.
Yeah,
I know.
Goddamn little Tractor versus
goddamn pioneer kid.
You had some other shit lined up that was a bit juicy in there somewhere. I'm sure you had some other juicy shit on the tail end. I thought.
Oh, on the saxophone stuff.
No, I saw some other stuff like some. You had some other. I don't know, fire up some. I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say as well. It's just like. You know, with the saxophone, how does it even wire up? Like, do you just plug it line in? Or
yeah, exactly.
Line in, and it's wireless at all? Like,
you can have a wireless system,
Okay. Because I was about to say, it's like, imagine, you know, how does Taylor walk into a crowd of people? It's like, grab the cable and walk out kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do that. There's like a mic input, which you can use that way, and you just use the mic input. Or some people bring like a little separate mixer, which will be like attached, which, you know, and some cables need like a phantom power, which is not always the way.
Yeah, the 48 volt whatever phantom power thing.
That's right. So But yeah, that's a little bit. That's
have you ever had any problems where anyone's tried to like? I mean, for DJing as well. So have you ever had anyone come up and like put their hand on the deck or anything like that?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone come up and try and touch the saxophone before as well?
What?
Yeah, I'm
well,
sure.
I just mean like some girl grabs the saxophone like let me wear it and it's like no.
I remember we were in Melbourne and Taylor's one of his
like the flute thing. That
one of the notes got like bent basically. So,
really?
And it was he had to spend like $500 or $600 like repairing it when we got back to town.
Yeah,
but it was a pretty loose tour. It was we pretty much lost our whole soul on that freaking tour. So we've got some photos.
So you went on a tour with saxophone?
Well, bit of a long story, but I got booked in Melbourne at a couple of venues over there, and I was over there for some production stuff too. So bit of a double whammy over there. Just went over to play 2 or 3 sets, and then 2 sets I think it was, and Taylor, and I said to him, man, do you want to come with? And he was like, yep, cool. And I just bring the sax along too, and he just ended up coming and playing with me as well, which ended up being a cool live element. And yeah, we brought a couple of other friends along as well, which made it like it was cool. Like it was a good trip.
So how long were you touring for in total?
Just like 4 days, like a week or something.
Right.
You know,
but still,
4 days of shows or 3 days of shows, and a couple of days of production, and then a whole week over in Melbourne.
Is it a good money maker?
Yeah. Yeah. It depends. I mean, it depends where you get booked, right? But that's where
did people reach out to you, or did you?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. And then you might get other stuff around that. Say, like, a couple of times I've reached out to friends who I know will be over there, and hey, I've got this show on this date. Do you reckon that the venue you work in might be interested? And then they'll say, yeah, no worries. Send us over like a press kit or like whatever it might be, and see some quotes and some pricing on.
You want to explain to some of the viewers what a press kit is?
Yeah, so a press kit will just be any technical requirements that you might have, like when you tour. So what specific decks you might want. Say you only want Pioneer, or some scratch DJs just might want like the 2-channel Technics decks, or that are compatible with Serato or whatnot, or basically like a technical rider. So that'll be that. And then a press kit will also be just what the press can see from the artist. So it'll just
like
be
a little bio about yourself, photos, logos.
So they can just put that into like
exactly
a
correct.
Or something, right?
Yeah. So that'll be that.
Like a food rider as well, like
sometimes,
allergies and stuff.
Sometimes, yeah. I think what was the last one? I think that I warmed up for Boy George when he last toured, and
that's pretty cool.
He was a legend actually, by the way, as well. Like super down to earth and just really nice. And
I only figured out who he was like the other month.
Here's an example. Carl Cox wanted like 12 strawberries coated in chocolate.
Yeah.
And he wants like 16 black towels or something, only black in a certain size and whatnot. It's just like, man, I think Shock One had a bit of a laugh and wanted something like, I think it was like, I don't know what it is. It's along these lines, like Tame Impala's couch.
I know.
As a joke.
I got one for you guys. Can you please look up Jackie Hughes rider?
Jackie, this might be along the lines. I was thinking,
food rider. It's like
food
they
rider,
got like it was something like 200 like little triangle
it's quite
sandwiches,
funny,
and it's like they have to be like ham, cheese, and like marmalade or something whack. It was just like everything has to be. It's like 3 cartons of bottles of water. Yeah. And it was like 2 cartons of Red Bull and this, and like 4 Grey Gooses and all this other shit. And it's over the top. Have you ever had
Beyonce wants like 12 a hotel room or something, wanted like a certain amount of white roses in the hotel when she arrives, and David shit, man.
It looks like it's disappeared off the
try and go on Google Images or something like that. It's so funny. It's so funny when you read it.
Yeah, right.
Let's put that in there.
Because it's just like they're superstars though. They're just
divas.
They can 100% ask for little tiny triangle cut sandwiches.
Yep. Crazy, hey?
Yeah. So we've got 8 minutes left.
It required a list of essential necessities as a DJ needs while performing. Examples of blah, 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 blah. Crazier, blah, blah, blah.
No, it was a photo. And it just said all this dumb shit. And it's just in a hotel room.
Below. There we go.
Yeah, but the photo didn't load.
Nah, it didn't load. That's okay.
Yeah, it didn't load.
It's all good.
Yeah. Well, very interesting seeing what writers and whatnot, what happens, but...
Just take our word for it, right? It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So we've got 8 minutes left. Well, 7 minutes left, actually. Usually at the end of the podcast, Mitch grills me a little bit and tells me we have to plug our guest. So I'm taking the reins tonight. By the way, like and share and subscribe. Anything you want to plug? Any upcoming gigs, music you're going to release?
No, you know what? I mean, it's been pretty interesting coming out of this. I've just got like 2 or 3 tracks I've been working on. I can't really say too much, but I got a vocalist from Sweden, which is nice, and a little collab. Someone wrote like a friend from the UK wrote a top line for a tune which has been worked on recently. I don't have any release dates, not even signed yet, not even finished yet, but it's like...
It's all right.
Do we have a rough timetable? What do you think?
Next year sometime?
No, I don't know. It all depends on, like, a lot of times it's like release schedules. Like a label will say, oh, we want it released in like September, or we want to have it for like Ibiza summer.
It's tough with the light environment the way it is now.
Yeah,
and stuff like
all
that.
depends on like when I get it signed, how I get it finished. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know what it's going to sound like yet, but I have an idea of it. And it's getting worked on, and it's about, I don't know, maybe 70 or 80% done. And that'll probably get finished. That'll probably hopefully get finished next 2-3 weeks. And once that's done, then I don't even think I end up releasing anything or like approaching many labels yet, because so many cities, so many states, like,
what's
are
the
still in
best place
lockdown.
for someone to find your music straight away?
Yep, so soundcloud.com/Renna, RENNA.
Yep.
Yeah, you can jump on the Facebook page at Ben.
Yep,
Ben
don't worry,
Renna
we'll
music.
include all the links
Oh,
for
cool.
your
Yep.
stuff down in the
Alright,
bio
yep.
below
Sweet,
the video after it's done.
Click the bio. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, just SoundCloud. I use SoundCloud a lot.
Yep.
There's a couple of free mixes you can listen to or download there, which were like COVID Chronicles, which was just like
everyone did
antics that happened in that. So yeah.
Speaking of DJ mixes, what's your next big DJ events coming up?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. A lot of the stuff got cancelled. So a lot of those festivals and those kind of bigger events got cancelled over that Rona period.
Yep.
So yeah, I can only think that hopefully by the end of the year, if we don't, fingers crossed, we don't get any friggin' outbreaks or any second waves or whatever. Hopefully the Derby this weekend doesn't cause any problems.
Is the Derby this weekend?
I think it's this weekend or next weekend, and
is
it's
that
like 30,000 people. Yeah, going to that. So hopefully nothing happens out of that. I don't think there will, because there's not been any cases since, and people really haven't, been too worried about it thus far. So
I don't know if I told you this, Mitch, right? But I was at Guildford 2 weeks ago, right? Here's a little story just before we wrap things up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hanging out with a DJ, a good mate of mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, some guy comes up and requests a song, right? And he's laughing. And like, oh, what's so funny? I'm supposed to be in quarantine right now.
Are you
Literally,
joking?
yeah, literally standing right next to us.
Yikes.
And he's just like, oh yeah, like I'm supposed to have 2 days left of quarantine, but fucking I'm out now and partying.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
dude.
I hope shit like that doesn't keep happening.
Dude, you
Yeah,
could ruin
totally.
everyone's fun.
Yeah,
Like, what are
yeah,
you doing?
yeah.
Go home and self-isolate, you retard.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah,
Nah.
I mean, look, thus far we've been pretty lucky. So,
Yeah, so
but yeah,
lucky.
sets wise, I can't. Honestly, I really don't even know what's coming out for the rest of the year, because I just know that I've got X amount of residencies and whatnot that you can find me at. Whether it's
So where can someone find you this weekend, for example?
So this weekend, Friday, Metropolis, Fremantle early from 9 to 12, and then 2 to 5 at Amplifier.
Is
7
that
to
main stage amps or
main stage amps, main stage metros.
Nice, nice.
And Saturday, just at the Avery early. I do that. That's my normal residency, just 7 to 9. Then I literally bolt straight to Coconut Grove from 9 to 2.
Yep.
And then I'm back in metros again from 2:30. So
Damn.
that's my 2 nights this week.
Fully
But
booked.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
Yeah. So
That's pretty good.
I do a little bit of stuff at the Peach Pit occasionally Sundays, but
Yeah, Peach Pit's good.
yeah, it's a good little summer spot, and it's always been pretty strong in there. It's a nice little cozy.
I
good
just wish
cocktails.
they moved the DJ booth back to where, it's like
Where it
actually
used to be.
under.
Oh yeah, I think they have maybe
Because
now. No, maybe
No,
not.
apparently it's for summer.
Yeah.
Then it moves
Okay.
back, yeah. And the
Okay.
thing is, it's like, how it's right next to the bar?
The front bar, yeah.
Yeah, and it used to be there, and it was really, really good there when
Yeah.
they used to have that little stage and shit there.
Yeah,
But
okay.
now they've moved that there, and then someone's dropped one of the 15-inch PAs, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's like, have you seen that? How the
Haven't
grill
seen it.
vibrates?
Haven't seen it.
So if you
Nah.
turn up those Yamaha PAs, right, they just vibrate.
I just gotta just jump in there, right? That's reminded me of something. During that whole lockdown period, someone commented, like, this meme circulated, and it was something along the lines of, how I would kill to play on a broken, scratched up, fucked up bloody DJ M700 from, whatever. Like,
Right.
I would just kill to play out right now on some fucked up decks. But now, like, before all that happened, everyone's like, oh man, these guys need to update their equipment and,
That's
all
exactly
this
it.
stuff.
I want
Everyone's just
nothing-
complaining about it now. But now, because there was no gigs for so long,
Yeah.
everyone's just kind of like screaming to get out and just play on anything they possibly can. So, yeah.
So that's the one thing that, like, just before we wrap things up, we've got 2 minutes, 3 minutes left, right?
We have negative 90 seconds.
Negative 90 seconds. Oh, all right. Well, let's go for a quick 5 minutes, right? I want to ask, right?
Yep.
So deck etiquette, right?
Yep.
And when I say deck etiquette, one thing that I find an issue, right, is when you go to a venue and it's just filthy, it's dirty, it's sticky. You know, the DJM channel 4 doesn't work, and the fucking mix is like half broken off and stuff like that. It's like, how can DJs just go to a venue and just mistreat the equipment sometimes? Kind of, it's like, you know, a CDJ 2000 and DJM Nexus is like $12,000 brand new.
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't you treat it like it's $12,000? Like,
Totally,
you know, obviously you're not someone that does that, right?
Because I'd say I'm like one of the better ones. I wipe the decks down after my like Saturday night sets and make sure that like nothing got spilled, or like, you know, make sure if there's deck covers that they're back on and whatnot. So yeah, they're just some things. I mean, deck etiquette. Make sure you like, you know, take care of them, like, you know, and that same goes for venues too, because no one like the. I just don't want to rock up and just play on shitty decks that are busted up, and
that's what I mean. Like, just, someone drops
get it serviced regularly and stuff like that. It just makes the whole experience better.
That's it.
You know.
The last
everyone just wants to work together, and
because I've played a few gigs out and about before where it's like, you know, I plug into channel 4 and it starts dropping in and out, and like, what the hell is going on? It's like, okay, I have to actually swap them over, but then it's like you lose left and then you lose your right, and then you have to swap it over.
Cue buttons get thrashed out and whatnot. The DJs don't, you know, it doesn't get covered up, it gets dusty, or like someone spilled a drink in it, I haven't noticed. Like,
see, I've got to
just
have
a good relationship and
that's exactly
DJ,
it.
like,
and one thing I've found that gives you bonus points, brownie points, right, is if you rock up to a venue and their DJ equipment's like, you know, not trash, but it's dusty, dirty, this and that. It's like, I go to the venue again if I'm booked there the week after. I just take it down and clean it for him.
It's a good way to go, man, for sure.
Yeah, because then they're like, oh shit, he actually cleaned the DJ booth, just so he can actually feel comfortable, kind of thing.
Yeah, nice thing to do for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't get the time to do it. Even though they should.
I'd have to agree. For sure. No, it's been good being on this podcast, guys. Like, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on. I have to admit, tonight's been really good. You were a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to keep a conversation up, huh? You, Mitch?
I'm always worried that you can't keep a conversation up, Alex.
Yeah, I know.
I'm constantly worried about it.
It is a Tuesday.
It is a
Everyone's
Tuesday.
still recovering, right?
Yeah,
so,
that's it, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I've been a little bit sick. I'm usually a bit more chatty. But
usually a bit more
just
chatty.
stay over that side, man, all right? Just stay over that side.
I'm sorry if you've heard me, anyone listening going...
Just don't get us sick, all right? We've got jobs to do on the weekend. We got to go to work and stay up stupid late and actually do stuff. Well, you get to go and party and drink, right?
We're talking about this later, Alex.
Oh, are we now?
Yep.
Oh, we'll talk about it later.
You're going to be sleeping outside tonight.
Shit, okay. You don't even live here, but all right. Okay, so this is episode 32. Thank you so much for coming on, Ben. Tonight's been freaking awesome.
That's been good fun.
Like, honestly, like,
we had a good laugh, for sure.
Tonight's been good. It's just been chill, mellow, great conversation, great topics, great everything.
Yeet.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mitch.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
Thanks, Mitch, for doing your Mitchin thing. All right,
guys.
And don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, share, do whatever. Otherwise, Mitch is going to tan my hide.
Please like the Facebook page. We need it. We're desperado.
Please like the page.
Sweet,
please. All right. I'm signing off. This is Alex, me, you know, this guy. Thank you so much, Ben, for coming on. Thank you, Mitch. We'll see you guys next week. And we should have Ace Bassick on, the owner?
I think he's a co-owner.
Co-owner? One of the main dudes behind Nevermind Small Club. We've talked about him the last couple of weeks, and I can't wait to pick his brain about nightclubs. Especially good nightclubs. Really good nightclubs. Okay. We'll see you guys next week. Catch ya.